Alright, so what a wild finish to the first game back here of the NFL season. The Chiefs win this one 27-20. I'm mainly going to talk about how the Ravens performed offensively, especially because their defense, their defense wasn't great, but it was good enough to where they could have won the football game. And the offense left a lot of points on the board, especially, with the poor play calling and offensive line play to begin the game. Now, obviously, the main thing I'm going to talk about in this video is the last drive of the game, where the Ravens drove down the field and got to the 10-yard line of the Chiefs, and Lamar Jackson, he missed two throws. That's the lightest way you can put it, is he missed two players that were wide open in the end zone that would have probably won them the game, because they were fixing to go for two if they, scored the touchdown, because Harbaugh, when likely caught the pass that everyone thought was complete, and then the replay showed his big toe was out, Harbaugh was throwing up the two because they were going to go for two, so maybe they could have won the game, I don't know. Maybe at that point they would have went for one, I don't know what they would have done there in that situation, but they were fixing to go for two if it was indeed a touchdown, that likely play. So it leads me to believe if the touchdown happened on any other play, they probably would have went for two as well. But Lamar Jackson, the first time he missed a guy was he missed Isaiah Likely wide open in the back corner. He just didn't process he didn't read the coverage, he didn't read the open space quick enough, and wasn't looking over to that side. By the time he threw it, it was A, bit too late, and B, he airmailed the pass, so it didn't really give Likely much of a chance of catching the football. The second one was one of the most egregious missed throws I've seen, I think, maybe ever. And I'm not trying to over-exaggerate for, the video. I'm just saying it's one of the worst missed throws I've ever seen in my life. And a lot of people are actually blaming Zay Flowers for running into open space, for running. So Lamar Jackson, apparently, he gets a pass for not being able to hit a guy who is running. Wide open. There's no one within 10 yards of the dude. Wide open. I don't understand why people are defending this play, because it's inexcusable. I don't care if Zay Flowers was supposed to sit, because at that point, they're not running their real routes. They're 5 seconds into the play. They're not going to sit. They're going to keep running into the open space. So Lamar Jackson was wrong. He wasn't going to sit, because he was just going to keep running into the open space. And if he were to just hit him in stride, even if it was a bit behind him, Flowers would have reached out and caught the ball, and they could have potentially won this game. Lamar Jackson missed the throw by 5 yards. It wasn't even close. He didn't even give Flowers a chance to dive or try to get his hands on the football or make a play on the ball. And that is unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable. And part of the blame on why Baltimore lost this game has to be on Lamar Jackson right now. It has to be on him. You can't, blame, the play calling, the offensive line. Yes, those were prevalent issues during this game. The offensive line did not play good whatsoever. They didn't give Lamar much time to throw the football. And they weren't really blocking all that well in the run game. And, the defense was fine once again, but the play calling, yes, the play calling was very conservative, but you could see that Lamar was, really, focused in on throwing his check down as soon as he could, which was, to me, you've got to stretch the field. And when he tried to throw it deep, he had poor accuracy throwing deep. His deep accuracy sucked today. His intermediate accuracy didn't exist because he almost never threw the ball past 5 yards. He threw past 10 yards, maybe twice. I think they were both completed. So he was solid intermediate, but I can't really make that assessment because the guy wasn't throwing in the intermediate. He wasn't throwing many breaking or timing routes. He was usually throwing little short, dinky passes to the flats, or he was running around and, throwing it up to players, after, he's trying to make a play when trying to break the coverage down or whatever the fuck, all right? But the offensive line was an issue. Yes, the play calling was bad. There was a lot of screens and little quick-hitting passes that, were just designed for a dink-and-dunk game manager quarterback. Lamar Jackson ran a lot. I thought he ran the ball well today. He used his legs as he should. But the deep actually, once again, really, really hindered them in this game. I don't have a problem with how their defense played. I thought they tried to help the offense out as much as they could, and they looked pretty good in this game. It's just the offense in the first half was not producing at all. There was, multiple missed opportunities, 3-and-outs, punts, stuff like that. And, it was a combination of Lamar Jackson, maybe missing some throws, getting too conservative, and the play calling, the offensive line, the lack of a run game other than Lamar. Obviously, that hindered the Ravens in this game. That's why they lost this game. It was a combination of a couple things. Offensive line, play calling. Lamar had bad plays this game. You can't ignore that. You can't just say, oh no, it's not on Lamar, it's not his fault, the play calling sucked, the line was garbage. We know the line sucked, we know the play calling sucked. Lamar sucked in certain points of this game. In the last drive, he played well up until the final 3 plays. The final 3 plays, I had secondhand embarrassment watching it live. It was hard to watch after he missed the throw hard enough to watch after he missed the first throw to Likely. It was like, oh my God, they could have, tied or won the football game. And then he misses a second throw in a row, and you're like, holy shit, it can't get any worse for the Ravens. And then it gets worse. It gets way fucking worse. You think that Likely has caught a touchdown pass from Lamar Jackson, and they're going to go for 2 to win the football game. And then you look at the replay, and his toe is out. His toe is out, and they lose, because that's ruled an incomplete pass because his toe is out of bounds. And they lose the football game. A heartbreaking, a stomach-churning way to lose this one. And my overall thoughts is that Lamar didn't play that great this game. He played okay, and then he shit the bed in the final couple plays of the game. The line played poorly. Derrick Henry, why did they sign Derrick Henry? Honestly, he was worthless tonight. He did nothing of note. He looked replacement level. He didn't look as explosive or fast. Maybe it's because, I don't know, whenever he's in the game, they're running the ball because he's rarely used in pass protection. He's not really used in the pass game. You'd think maybe you'd eventually want to throw some sort of, swing pass and let him run a guy over. Maybe cook something up for him, but they weren't doing that. And it was very predictable. It was a flat, boring offense. And a flat, boring offense, yes, well, it can win you games, and it can do you a lot of good against certain teams. The Chiefs always have a good defense, so they are, it's not really going to work out too well. Playing that way is not going to work out too well. With playing conservative is not going to pan out too much against this team because they know how to stop it. And they knew how to sort of stop the Ravens offense today. And Derrick Henry, $16 million, he did nothing in this game. He did absolutely nothing. That might be play calling. That might be, maybe his father time was caught up to King Henry. I don't fucking know. But I know the play calling sucked, and I know the line sucked, and I know Lamar sucked. Lamar had bad moments in this game, and you have to talk about that. You have to talk about the line, and just how you have to talk about the play calling. I don't have a problem with their defense. I'm not going to talk about the Chiefs because I don't fucking care about the Chiefs. They're just a fucking... They generate so much revenue for the league. I understand it's ridiculous, but it's just... Sometimes it feels like, the refs are swayed to their side. I don't fucking like that. There was a lot of illegal formation calls in this game that were fucking bullshit because Jawan Taylor, or whatever the fuck his name is, for the tackle for the Chiefs, was doing the exact same thing and there was no calls. And he was getting away with false starts and stuff like that, and it was just... felt one-sided today. The refereeing felt a bit one-sided, but the Ravens could have easily overcame that. So that excuse is, I'm throwing that out the window. The Ravens could have won this game. And what a crazy first game of this NFL season. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth. This was nothing but the truth.